Hello everyone, Christina Forbes here, wife of seriously injured worker Lorne Forbes. So, as I have mentioned, was waiting kind of on some mail over the last little while in really order to put up some new videos. So, Lauren's been getting some mail and this is where we're at. So, what I'll do is I'll bring you all up to speed. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is a big fucking joke. And just a little forewarning, please excuse my profanity, my potty mouth, my trucker's mouth, if you will, logger's mouth, fisherman's mouth, whatever. So, August 28th, which was a little while ago, we received a letter. From another letter from Mark Evans, corporate manager of the corporate security for WorkSafe BC. So, dear Mr. Forbes, the following is to further my letter dated June 4th, 2008. I wish to advise you that a decision has been made that Sheila Case will no longer be your assigned vocational rehabilitation consultant. Effective immediately, your case has been assigned to another vocational rehab consultant. But it doesn't state on here who. I'm not even going to actually, I used to with my other camera be able to pull it up on the little pieces on the camera there, but this one here is kind of crappy. See, it doesn't quite work as good as my other camera at all. It kind of flashes. It's a nuisance. So as outlined in my letter June 4th, 2008, all contact with WorkSafe BC staff by yourself or by Miss Christina Forbes must only be done in writing and addressed to corporate security. Communication from WorkSafe BC will also be directed to you in writing. I can also advise you that a vocational rehabilitation proposal will be presented to you in writing within the next 7 to 10 days. It is my understanding that you've been previously advised that a vocational rehabilitation plan would be formulated and presented to you for your consideration. Yours truly, Mark Evans. Now, on the back of, like I had said, Mark Evans, he's CCS, CFI, and CFE. I was kind of wondering what those meant, so I went looking. CCS stands for Certified Collection Specialist, CFE stands for Certified Fraud Examiner, and CFI stands for Certified Firearms Inspector. Lock, stock, and barrel there. So, as some of you know, from a couple of weeks ago, I think it was the Vancouver Sun about the 13th of September had wrote a piece called Self-Proclaimed Nasty Man Fights WorkSafe BC. Self-Proclaimed Nasty Man and a few others on here have anonymous medical advisors or rehabilitation consultants. Now these are people within WorkSafe BC, if some of you may not know, that the vocational rehabilitation consultant is the one that works with you to find you employment after your injury. They are supposed to work with you and your attending physicians and all parties involved to discuss what would be your best course of action. So that's August 28th there that we got that. September 10th, they wrote this big book here for Lorne, but we didn't actually get it until I think it was the 15th or 16th of September. So, and they wanted a reply on this decision letter by the 21st of September, so not very much time there. So, but this is what we got. Lorne got in the mail there a couple of weeks ago, or a week and a bit ago. Dear Mr. Forbes, this letter is in regards to your entitlement to vocational rehabilitation assistance at this time. In every case, vocational rehabilitation services attempts to work together with the injured workers and others to develop a suitable return to work plan, taking input from all concerned parties, personal preferences, and choices into consideration. This is where it gets good. On occasion, however, It is not possible to meet the above goals, and Vocational Rehabilitation Services may then choose to exercise its discretion to develop a baseline return to work plan that meets the board's mandate without the input from the injured worker. That baseline plan may then be offered to the injured worker to accept as is. That baseline plan may then be offered, or the monies to support the baseline plan may be offered to an injured worker to apply towards a plan of their choice, pending receipt of a proposal from the injured worker that outlines the preferred plan and information as to how the funds should be applied towards that goal. In order to release the funds from the board's baseline plan, the worker's proposal must be reviewed and approved by the Director, Vocational Rehabilitation. So, now let's recap a few things that we all know, just in the few videos that I've done before we received this letter. Okay, they've put him through, they tried to do graphic design. That was a no-go. Why? Because he physically could not do the job. Not that he chose not to do it, he couldn't physically to do the job. They tried photo technician and restoration, but that money didn't bring him up to his previous pre-injury earnings. They tried AutoCAD, drafting, all requires serious upgrading, and he's physically unable to do what is required of the job. So, not that Lorne has chose not to, he just physically is unable to. All the while, all of these choices being made for him without seeing his physician. His treating physicians, Dr. Bell and Dr. Scruton from the Comox Valley Care Center. So these are the ladies that have been working with Lorne since Dr. Scruton's worked with him since he broke his back, which was just a couple of months before he fell and shattered both of his fucking arms. So, and not only that, but Dr. Scruton's been our family physician here on the island for the last 7 years, almost 8 years actually now. Never once have either of them been consulted or asked on Lorne's physical limitations. So let's get on to the next paragraph. I'm going to break this into 10-minute segments. As you all know, YouTube doesn't like to upload anything longer than 10 minutes, so it'll all be listed as part 1 and part 2. In your case, Mr. Forbes, functional capacity evaluation, vocational assessment and testing, and career direction services were provided. The vocational rehabilitation consultant has tried to collaborate with you to agree on a suitable return to work goal and develop a plan to achieve that goal. Recently, consideration was given to the potential for training into the occupation of AutoCAD. However, in June 2008, the board received information from North Island College that you would require a minimum period of 2 years to upgrade your academic skills prior to acceptance into the 10-month drafting certificate program offered through North Island College. Unfortunately, the above level of assistance to facilitate return to a suitable occupation is beyond the board's recurrent vocational rehabilitation mandate. Therefore, vocational rehabilitation services cannot support this return to work goal directly. So, they only allow 26 weeks for retraining. That's all they pay for. It took, like I mentioned before, it took me longer to become a licensed hairstylist than WCB is willing to pay for retraining for some of these guys that have had careers, 15 plus years. Which we'll get to later on when you see what they're offering him and what they're now starting to make more and more of a nuisance with themselves and offering more and more seriously injured workers. I'm at the 9-minute mark, and I'm not actually even going to bother to get into the next paragraph, but it's getting really good. So please stay tuned, look for part 2, and the crimes that are WorkSafe BC just keep getting so more and more evident. So thank you, the viewers. Stay tuned for part 2. You're going to enjoy it.